Hey everyone, I'm here to answer some questions for Antichrist magazine. I would like to start with the first question. Our band Nahaya, we are five-piece melodic thrash metal band from San Antonio, Texas. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we don't get to meet up so much, so I'm gonna do the questions for myself. We have a drummer named David, which is one of my close friends in the town. Our guitar players Daniel Abbott and John Katz. As a matter of fact, his last name is actually really Katz. And our singer Jake Wayman. Jake is the only one who lives in Austin at the moment, which is only about an hour away, hour and a half, so it's not that a big a deal. Nahaya started in late 2014. We went through a couple of lineup changes, drummer, guitar player, vocalist, but we are still going strong, and we are still friends with the previous members too. It was just, life happens. And we started the project on the matter of going with the speed, a little bit more the melodic side of the speed metal, like the Northern Europe-ish. When we were starting with my previous guitar player Ryan, not many bands were in town were doing a lot of speed metal. It was mainly, technical metal, more so around that time, like 7-8 years ago. So we both liked the style of that, and when we were starting the project, it was so hard for us to find the right members because not many people were into this style anymore. So when we started the band, we went through a couple lineup changes. As a matter of fact, he's not in the band anymore, but we end up getting a different guitar player. And we stay in this genre, but we changed the vibe, especially in this album, Vital Alchemy, with the doom style of vocals and a little bit of more different bass lines too for myself, but still around the speed. So I really like this style a lot. For the next question, the band name is actually from Old Arabic, meaning the end. When we were looking up for the names around that time, our main thing was to find a one-word name. I don't know why. It's easy to remember, easy to say, but like many metal bands are looking for like Latin or different language in metal band name. The Nahaya came to Ryan because he kind of spoke Arabic, and he told me this means the end, like the end of the world. I told him it's sick, it's metal, hell yeah. And then I think we were kind of drunk, and then we stuck with the name. People seem to like it. I think it's a very remarkable name. I love it a lot. I think it's very unique. It's one of a kind for sure. For the Vital Alchemy, I would like to say I think this is the most unique album that we had, because in the past we released a single and 2 EPs, but in this album we had very different dynamic changes and then very different songs. We still follow the speed, of course, formula, but the vocals are different, and my bass lines are actually way different, of course. And we had a new drummer, and David is one of a kind, so he's a phenomenal drummer, and he's got that natural talent. So he brought a life to this album. When we were working on this album, we were already going through the lineup changes. So what happened was, it's like changing the members while we are writing the songs with Daniel. So that happened, and we were rehearsing, and pandemic started to happen. So it was like we were going to the studio, it didn't happen, and then we took a break from going to the studio. World was ending. So we went to the studio, we were finally able to finish it after a long time. So by the time we already finished it, we already been listening to songs for a while, But it's fun. I really like this album. I think it's really deserves big numbers around the world, like for people to check it out, because I know this genre has really, really huge followers. I am myself since I was like 13, 14 years old. And I think it's a beautiful album. For vocals, usually I will highly recommend for metal vocals to check it out. Album cover art, it's actually very unique. So when we were talking about the album art cover, the many metal bands use like a foresty, like dark skeleton or creepy, beautiful but sad but not angry. Those kind of vibes. We didn't want to go that route, a little bit more futuristic, because we all love the sci-fi, so that we want to use the dark sci-fi. And Jake was able to known the person who did the art for us, Cameron Burns, phenomenal artist, and he did this incredibly futuristic art. And I said, this is it. No one does this. Like barely any metal bands do that anymore. And for some, I think for metal side, oh, it's not really metal or whatnot. I understand that, I respect it, but it's just that I wanted to see like what kind of look it will bring. I think it brought a really beautiful look. There's a person who's about to enter like the Full Metal the jacket. I mean, Full Metal Alchemy. The guy's about to go to the room that he cannot lie anymore. So it's like a beautiful art. I think it's very meaningful, and we're gonna remember this forever, of course. Actually, about Rockshots Records, they've been, for my Instagram account for a while, they've been following me, and they've been liking stuff that I post. I post like individual singing and like videos and whatnot, and then I've been looking up for Rockshot. Like I want to sign them or something to see if we can work with it. And then they were immediately, yes, like this is good. Let's work with it. Let's see what we can do. And then they don't have many bands like us, I don't think. So when we went there, I was kind of like nervous. Like, is the right fit for you? For us, is this gonna work? And as a matter of fact, the first single, it's been going crazy. The views are so high. Daily, it's getting listened more and more. And then I'm seeing that people who's been following that label is saying that, oh, this is a very unique and different band. So let's check it out, who this is, And promotions around Europe is really big. Our numbers are growing over there. And then they've been so helpful so far, so I highly recommend it. I think it's very 50-50. If you have a good follower underground scene, or if you are lucky enough before the internet that people, I don't think label is gonna change many things, because I was able to meet many people in Texas who didn't have a label, but they were able to sell out their merchandise easily just themselves, which is amazing, But when they started to do the things internationally, the things are changing. They need people to push them, and then that also makes the band look big, and then their image looks more professional, and also members start to take it more serious, because at the end of the day, members live separately, so it can be different thoughts come to their mind. Oh, it's not going to take off because it's just a local idea, and things like that, and which is understandable. People have lives, but it's just that the label has that little push, and that little push becomes huge, and then you're saying, let me keep going, let me keep going, let me keep going, and then is it gonna work? That's the question we can never answer. It's just there are so many bands that they were lucky enough with one song, and then there's so many bands 10 albums later, they were able to make it. But I think it's a big deal, and I think if we don't lose our excitement to what we want to do with music, we should still follow this dream, because that's how I remember why I started. I wanted to do something with music. I wanted to keep going. I didn't even care about being a good musician, because I just want to play, right? That's how the metal started for me, because I love music regardless, and then the genres comes. And metal was the big emotional side of me, so I didn't even think about sit down and practices. I just want to learn and keep going and write. At the end of the day, I was writing. Was it good songs? I didn't really care, but I would just keep writing. I think that's what makes the metal keep going. And there's many musicians like that start the same way. And then that's what makes it a metal, not only a music genre, but also, a life. So I think label deal is a good chase until that you don't feel like you want to go anymore. But hopefully, if any musicians out there feeling that way, just there is no guarantee. But if you want to keep going, you never ask that question to yourself anymore. Let me remember. I think there were some times that let me see if this has happened. Oh, I think one of the time that we played in a South by Southwest show, this guy jumped on the stage and took the microphone. I think something like that happened. It was one of the most like epic live performance, but it was metal because everyone was drunk, so they didn't remember many things. But you know, like the mosh pits are a big thing. I wouldn't call that epic fail. Or my bass strap broke one time. I had to play sitting down, so that was kind of funny. Actually, New Dream Shade from Switzerland. They are a phenomenal band. They've been around for quite a while now. I love their new album so much, and I highly recommend it. It's really good, and I've been following them for a long time now. But they hit a single with the singer from Darkest Hour. It's a really good song. It's our area, the Speed, so it's a phenomenal album. And then, other than that, The Absence has coming up with new things. They have a new single out. It's phenomenal. Like they've been one of my favorite bands since high school. And then let me see. New Gojira sounds intense. So far, it gets me more than better than the last album. And then I think that's mainly this kind of bands are getting to me. That it's one or two. It's like after COVID, if people are gonna go to shows or they're just gonna show up for a bit and they're not gonna show up again. You know, like the local shows were already getting barely people. So this is the big question: are we gonna get more people, or we're just gonna get a people a little bit, and then they're not gonna show up? So it's like one or the other. You know, I don't know. I think big tours are gonna be packed and sold out for quite a time, like maybe a month, and then local shows maybe a couple months, and then I don't know. I mean, maybe the place where I'm living or where we are as a band, it's a different thing. Sometimes local shows people don't want to go; they just want to sit down at home. You know, it's live streaming and all that. When we first started, we were doing a lot of live streams, many shows. We were getting. I'm not kidding. We were getting maybe like 2,000 views a night for a local show that we were playing. That was intense to me. Like Saturday night, people were just drinking at home and watching us. Look what the world has become now. Everything is just live stream. You know, if just 10% of those people start to show up to the shows, imagine what would happen. I mean, it's a big question. Like many musicians, maybe like even myself, if I like going to the shows, but not as much as I love playing shows, because when I'm not on the stage, I don't know what to do. You know, there's that. But I think it's gonna affect it, hopefully good way after this is over. Hopefully the shows are gonna sell out at least for a while before laziness start to happen. And we just have to be positive about it. That's all we can say. Our local scene is really good. San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Dallas. I haven't heard many bands around there. Fort Worth. There are many bands are getting signed and getting picked up by major labels, even, you know. And Corpus has really good bands. They had been the town of Shattersun, so San Antonio is very big. And then we have our Upon a Burning Body here, and Nothing More, and as many know. And then, you know, like there are big bands over there in Houston as well. The other band that I'm playing, Oceans of Slumber. So in Austin, we have Nahaya guys. Like there's a lot of big bands that is been getting picked up but for the local scenes, there's so many phenomenal bands here. Like in the last 9 years that I've been performing here, I think now, I've been meeting with intensely phenomenal guitar players and drummers, bass players. It's just like blowing my mind. I was always saying that I wish I had your talent. I would have destroyed the world. You know, because it's like, why are you here? Like you could have just go places. But of course, for many people, different ideas, different things comes first. But the local singer is phenomenal. They've been phenomenal. At least the songs are just like, there are songs that you remember from the show. That's so important to me, from a local show. And we have incredible drummers here. We have David. So David is one of a kind. It's a magical talent that I will call him. And we have very, very similar taste in music, so that makes it unique. For the future, that I would say, we all are hungry to be back on the stage, of course, but we're gonna get back onto tour and take Nahaya to its first official tour, hopefully around the States, around Europe, as in many places that we can go. We all are very, very active musicians, so we constantly practice. And we have about 5 or 6 songs kind of ready to go for the next album. There's going to be different singing for the next album, and I'm really excited for that different vibe as every album like evolving and becoming something different. It's gonna what we all like, I believe, and it's gonna be very unique. So we are very excited. Hopefully we'll see many of you guys who's watching these videos very soon. Thank you.